Welcome. My name is Guglielmo Camporese.
I am Elena Izzo.
And we are very excited to present our work, Where Are My Neighbors? Exploiting patches relations in self-supervised vision transformer. Recently, vision transformers have obtained impressive performances on vision-related tasks, showing comparable and even better results with respect to convolutional neural networks. However, this performance is strictly related to the training set size used during pre-training. Moreover, if trained from scratch, vision transformers are less accurate than their competitors on small datasets. In order to reduce this gap, this work aims at improving the vision transformer performance, especially on small datasets. To this end, we propose a simple but still effective self-supervised learning strategy to train vision transformers that can significantly improve the results. Our relational vision transformer model uses a standard bit encoder, which takes image patches as input and whose output tokens are passed to specialized heads, designed for solving our self-supervised learning tasks. Thanks to our approach, characterized by an intuitive and straightforward implementation, all output tokens are optimized during the training process, exploiting in this way more training signal. Moreover, since all heads share the same backbone, the model can easily work solving in parallel multiple tasks using at the same time both self-supervision and supervision. We investigated 4 different self-supervised tasks, all of them based on spatial relations among input patches. The relative positions task focuses on recognizing the relation class of couples of patches, whereas the angles and distances tasks face the problem of learning angles and distances among patches of patches locations in the original image. And finally, the absolute positions task focuses on recognizing the 2D location of each input patch.
Our model provides many possibilities. We can use various self-attention-based backbones. In particular, we tested width and 2 of its variants, swim and tokens to tokens. Or we can arrange the 5 heads, 1 for classification and 4 for our task, in many different ways. We investigated Revit on all the configurations under 2 settings, pre-training the model from scratch for our self-supervised task and subsequently fine-tuning on classification, and training the model from scratch jointly on classification and self-supervised task. Under the downstream-only setting, we compared the supervised baseline on each dataset with our self-supervised methods, trained using each backbone and our heads. As you can see, our method obtained higher results on almost all the datasets, proving its generalization capability regardless of the benchmark and the backbone. Regarding the results combining the self-supervised pre-training and the subsequent fine-tuning on classification, we computed the baselines and the relevant results on all the datasets. Also in this case, our method reaches higher accuracy levels on all the investigated datasets. In conclusion, we propose a model that is efficient and easy to implement. Moreover, it is a general method, since it can be integrated into many transformer-based architectures. The self-supervised learning task that we have defined uses spatial relations among patches to optimize all output tokens. Finally, our approach obtains significant improvements on all the datasets investigated. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jonari Rabarisua, and I am a research scientist at CA List in France. I will present our work on self-supervised pre-training of vision transformers for depth prediction tasks. This is a joint work with my colleagues Valentin Bélissen, Florian Chabot, and Kokong Pham. Vision transformers has been widely used to solve computer vision tasks, and currently the state-of-the-art on several benchmarks. Most of the top 5 performing methods on various vision tasks use a transformer or its variant. They have a better generalization capabilities, but it comes at a cost. They need a large training data, and when the data is limited, we usually need a pre-training step. So how can we pre-train a vision transformer? We can use a supervised pre-training on large annotated dataset, generally by solving ImageNet 1K or 21K classification. Steiner et al. Describe in their work how to train VITs efficiently. Their checkpoints are usually used as a starting point to solve other tasks and give quite good results. Another alternative is the work from Hugo Tauvin et al. That mixes supervision and distillation through attention. Without annotation, we can use self-supervised learning with contrastive loss. Basically, it encodes different views of the same instance with a neural network and asks it to minimize the agreement between these encodings. Moko v3 and Dino are examples of a successful application of contrastive learning to pre-train VITs. Also, there is the masked modeling from BERT. The existing approaches differ depending on the target token definition. BU uses discrete tokenizer learn offline, while iBot uses an online one. The masked autoencoder by Kamin et al. Predicts directly the masked patch with an autoencoder. Masked modeling approaches use local information during pre-training, and generally they have a better performance on depth prediction tasks. Instead, the fully supervised and constructive pre-training are based on the global image representation. In this work, we propose to add locality in the contrastive pre-training of VITs in order to learn initial weight more suitable for dense prediction tasks. To this end, instead of constructing global features only, we contrast global features with local ones. With this formulation, we get several good properties for the noise contrastive estimation loss. First, for each anchor example, we have several positive samples. It has been shown that this improves the quality of the pre-training. Next, the number of negative samples are critical for NCE loss. In our case, they are multiplied by the number of image tokens. Thus, we can keep reasonably small batch size and save computational resource. And finally, this pre-test task is linked to the downstream task. To demonstrate the efficiency of our method, we did several experiments with the following settings. We pre-trained 3 variants of VITs, the tiny, the S, and the B, on ImageNet 1K for 800 epochs. We use the same data augmentation as SimClear, but with a larger crop. The pre-training is distributed over several GPUs, but we only sample negative locally. So the effective batch size for negative sampling is 128. For downstream tasks, 2 types of head are used, linear and the upper net, which fuses several levels of the network. Here are some qualitative results. This shows a visualization of the feature learned after the pre-training on sample image from Pascal Vogt dataset. The visualization is done by projecting the token features into 3D spaces with TSNE. As we can observe, the network is able to learn the structure of the images after the pre-training phase. We also show the result of a segmentation by applying a linear classifier on top of the learned feature. To assess the performance of our pre-training method, we conduct experiments on ADE20K for semantic segmentation and on NYU V2 for molecular depth estimation. We fine-tuned the complete network after adding the task dedicated head. The comparison is done with weight from ImageNet 1K classification and Dino pre-training. For semantic segmentation, we use checkpoints given by the author and do the fine-tuning ourselves. As you can see on the left table, our pre-training gives the best performance for each VIT variant and any combination of head. But you can also notice that For the BATB, it is beyond the pre-training done on ImageNet 21K with BIT. This suggests that there is still room of improvement. On the red table, you can see that our pre-training achieved competitive results with comparable approaches on NYUV2. We only show here the method that do not use extra data set to solve the task. To conclude, in this work we have proposed a self-supervised pre-training of vision transformer based on local and global view matching with noise contrastive estimation. We have demonstrated that it is a good initialization strategy for dense downstream tasks with the advantage of being less sensitive to the batch size. As a future work, we plan to add masked modeling inside this framework. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for giving me the chance to present our work on multi-concept self-supervised learning. This is a joint work with my colleagues. At the beginning of 2021, computer vision community was facing two challenges. VIT were very successful, but they were not really data efficient. They would work if you train on millions of label samples. The second is that there was a very particularly the contrastive way. So there was this strong desire to think out of the box for novel method which make best use of the data, no matter the size of the data and availability of the label. There were a lot of speculation for burst and spy model, but they were not really successful. So GMML, which we proposed in the beginning of 2021, marked the new era and delivered the well-anticipated self-supervised learning alternative. It is simple, elegant, and current best way to extract information from images. So this marked the first discovery of heavy masking of token for self-supervised learning and showed the merit of mask image modeling and mask autoencoder for self-supervised learning. So we didn't really do much parameter tweaking due to limited resources, and we didn't suffer from collapse and then several other problems which were being faced for self-supervised vision transformers or self-supervised learning in general. We showed the merits on small data set going up to 100,000 images and draw some interesting conclusion. So let's look into what we proposed towards the beginning of 2021. So we have an image. We define a random location in an image, and we define group of connected token around it, and we introduce a concept. That concept can be masking with zero, can be masking with random noise, and can be an alien concept from one other image in a batch. So that introduced several properties, and we use very simple decoder and reconstruction loss for our training of self-supervised vision transform. So what it gave us was the best balance between inductive bias and global information modeling dictated by the data itself without making assumptions. So GML-based self-supervised learning marked that self-supervised pre-training can outperform supervised pre-training, and it was outperforming CNN counterparts. So as you can see, even on a very, very small data set, it is giving pretty high accuracies, reaching up to 40% higher performance than corresponding self-supervised method on small data set, and worked very well on large data set like ImageNet as well. The transfer learning was also very strong from small data set to big data set. So this timeline of self-supervised learning. So we actually we have several approaches which were contrastive-based approaches, and they were very successful and very strong approaches. For example, Dino and others, and then GMML was proposed in April 2021, and now GMML and its variant has been widely adopted by computer vision community and related fields, and GOAT architecture for self-supervised learning. So, for example, the idea of group masking is adopted in the seminal work of BEIT, and the same idea, similar idea of GMML with the autoencoder has been adopted in mask autoencoder paper, and also SimMim paper, and extended by MCSSL for multi-concept self-supervised learning. So let's look into multi-concept self-supervised learning a little bit more. We had all the benefits of group mass model learning, which I have demonstrated before. And in addition to that, we do patch self-concept learning in this head. It's very similar to what is going on in the Dino paper as described by our colleagues here. So by doing this, it enables to learn pseudo semantic concept on the images. So you can see that on the top row we have original images, and in the second row, without using any supervision, MCSSL is able to get able to differentiate and segment object without using any supervision whatsoever. So all we asked the network is to give us 3 or 4 most salient concept, and we clustered the patches using k-mean algorithms and asked for 3 or 4 most salient concepts, and these are the results which we got. In the third row and fourth row are the results for Dino and MOCO version 3. And as it can be seen that visually it is much better. So we are not only after getting better numbers. Of course, we have decent results and significantly better results over existing methods, but also trying to see how self-supervised learning can learn the concept without using any supervision. So the next question is that whether this concept which are learned without any supervision, are they consistent across the images or not? And this is a little bit investigation into that, and we have seen that initial investigation showed that yes, they are consistent across the images with representation, as can be seen by the variation in the starfish and the signature on the right of each image. They are pretty similar across the data set. Again, we showed the results on several small-scale data set and showed improvement of GMML-based or MCSSL-based approaches over state-of-the-art, and have very strong performance as shown in the table. So to conclude, GMML marked the first mask image modeling or mask autoencoder based algorithm for self-supervised learning algorithm. So GMML based self-supervised pre-training outperforms supervised pre-training, and GMML has become go-to method for self-supervised learning as well as for pre-training. It achieves state-of-the-art. It has already achieved state-of-the-art results on several vision-related areas, which are mentioned here. On top of GMML, MCSSL learns pseudosemantic concept without any supervision. So in short, it is the best balance between inductive bias and global information modeling dictated by the data itself. So it does not make any assumption of inductive bias like in CNN. But inductive bias may not necessarily be bad because there are statistical correlation between the data, and it is good to model that. And I think that GMML is the way to go forward. So we hope for recognition from the community for the pioneer contribution to mask image modeling and mask autoencoder, and we are looking forward for collaboration, particularly in compute. Thanks a lot. We look forward to discussing more on ablation studies which we have in the poster session. Thanks.
She's using the slides. Is it playing? Well, oh yeah, this is good. Hello. Okay. My name is Richard. I'm a third-year PhD student at Harvard. Today I'm presenting a work on scaling vision transformers to gigapixel images via hierarchical self-supervised learning. The problem that this work addresses is weakly supervised learning in gigapixel pathology images. Unlike natural images, whole slide imaging is a challenging computer vision domain in which image resolutions can be as large as 150K pixel resolutions, 150K squared. The right-hand side shows a coarse view of the whole slide from which we can zoom in and magnify into fine-grained details such as tumor and immune cells, which are important for cancer diagnosis and prognosis. The current paradigm for weakly supervision follows an MIL approach in which tissue regions are subdivided into non-overlapping patches, typically a size 256 at 20x mag, followed by patch level feature extraction and pooling to compute a slide level embedding. Though this method works well for simple classification tasks in computational pathology, more challenging tasks such as survival prediction entail capturing important contextual and hierarchical information in the tumor microenvironment, which is limited by small patch sizes having limited context and creating long sequence lengths. Long sequence lengths limiting MIL architectures to only doing attention-based pooling. And also slide level tasks being high dimensional, low sample size problems, and thus complicated architectures may cause overfitting. Despite these challenges, we know two unique properties about whole slides. First, visual concepts are objective, as at a given magnification, the image scale is fixed. Second, visual concepts exist in a hierarchical structure, as across varying resolution from 16 sized cell objects depicting cell activity to 56 sized patches depicting cell-to-cell interactions, 4K sized image regions depicting spatial organization of cells and tissue, and then the whole slide depicting the overall tumor microenvironment. With these properties in mind, we present hierarchical image pyramid transformer, or HIPT, which recursively subdivides the whole slide into non-overlapping patches, first patching into 4K sized image regions, and within each 4K region, we subdivide into 256 sized patches, and then within each patch, we subdivide into 16 by 16 cells, followed by a aggregation, first using a patch level VIT, modeling cell-to-cell dependencies and outputting a patch level feature embedding. We then use these computed patch level feature embeddings as the input sequence to a region level VIT, and subsequently use region features as the input to a slide level VIT. In modeling our image this way, we note that for 256 and 4K sized image regions, the sequence lengths are 256, making transformer attention tractable and having equivalent subproblems and modeling token dependencies. Moreover, we know that the recursive nature of our method may allow VIT pre-training techniques to generalize across stages for high resolution image pre-training. To pre-train HIPT, we first pre-train the patch level VIT at the first stage using Dyno based on student-teacher knowledge distillation and their properties in which the attention heads isolate unique visual concepts such as stroma, cells, and white space in the patch. Then, keeping our patch level VIT frozen, we then use this VIT as a tokenizer for the region level VIT, with Dyno reused to pre-train 4K sized images. We refer to this method as hierarchical pre-training. Though this training recipe was validated with pathology images, we hope that it may generalize to other high resolution images and other massive scale data inputs. We first compare HIPT against comparable MIL architectures on cancer subtyping tasks in the TCGA, and then HIPT outperforms by methods across varying percentage folds of training data. Furthermore, we explore self-supervised performance of HIPT, taking a new 4K feature as the representative slide-level feature embedding. On RCC subtyping, self-supervised HIPT features outperforms methods such as CLAM, which uses slide-level labels. Here, we show that we can factorize the attention distributions to visualize coarse, fine-grained features using the attention heads in the patch and region level VITs, which isolate cells and stroma regions respectively. Factorizing their distributions together is able to detect tumor-associated stroma. With a different attention head in a region level VIT, we can also detect high tumor cellularity regions. This is a detailed look at the hierarchical self-supervised attention maps from HIPT, from which we can use the previous attention heads for finding high cellularity regions. Again, without any supervision, HIPT is able to saliently localize tumor cells within tumor-containing regions, much like how words are attended to in documents. But thanks for coming for this talk. This paper was also in the main conference, so if you want to hear me.
Hello, everyone. We are the team from Nanjing University.
Okay, last spotlight presentation.
And Tencent AI Lab. We would like to thank the Transformers for Vision workshop organizers for giving us the opportunity to present our work. Video MAE, masked autoencoders are data-efficient learners for self-supervised video pre-training. Recently, Transformer has improved a series of computer vision tasks. Compared with static images, video data contains several specific characteristics, such as temporal redundancy and temporal correlation. Moreover, higher computational consumption is another challenge for video understanding. While there are many methods exploring new transformers for video recognition, all these methods need the extra large-scale image or video data and heavily depend on pre-trained models. Given these challenges, there raises a question. How to efficiently train a vanilla VIT on the video dataset itself without using any pre-trained model? In this paper, we attempt to solve this question in two aspects. We notice that self-supervised learning has shown remarkable success in NLP and vision. Therefore, we try to remove the dependence on extra data. We are inspired by the recent MAE for image self-supervised pre-training and propose a new masking strategy for video pre-training, termed Video MAE. Our Video MAE performs the task of masking random tubes and reconstructing the missing ones with an asymmetric encoder-decoder architecture, which is a simple but effective masking and reconstruction proxy task for self-supervised pre-training. This pre-training process is very efficient because only unmasked tokens are put into the encoder. Due to high redundancy and temporal correlation in videos, we present the customized design of tube masking with an extremely high ratio, e.g. 90% to 95%. This simple design enables us to create a more challenging and meaningful self-supervised task to make the learned representations capture more useful spatio-temporal structures during the pre-training process. Eventually, the overall Video MAE is a simple, data-efficient method for self-supervised video pre-training with high performance and no extra data required. We also conduct ablation experiments and pre-trained models are fine-tuned on downstream datasets for evaluation. There are some key observations. Firstly, we compare different masking strategies and find tube masking achieves better performance than plain random masking and framed masking even with an extremely high ratio. We attribute this interesting observation to the redundancy and temporal correlation in videos. We argue that our default designs enforce the networks to capture more useful spatio-temporal structures. Then, we compare different pre-training strategies. Our Video MAE can effectively train a video transformer without using any extra data and achieve the best performance. We also compare the pre-training dataset. Our Video MAE model can achieve the best performance. The Image MAE and Video MAE pre-trained on Kinetics both fail to yield better performance than Video MAE only pre-trained on something v2. We observed that our Video MAE significantly outperforms the other two training methods, training from scratch and Moco v3. We also see that the performance gap between our Video MAE and the other two methods becomes larger as the training set becomes smaller. These results demonstrate that Video MAE is a more data-efficient learner for SSVP, and this property is particularly important for scenarios with limited data available. Moreover, thanks to the extremely high masking ratio, our pre-training time is much shorter. In our Video MAE, one core design is the extremely high masking ratio. We perform an investigation of this design. We see that the best masking ratio is extremely high, and even 95% can achieve good performance. This result is different from BERT in NLP and original MAE in images. We analyze the temporal redundancy and correlation in videos makes it possible for our Video MAE to learn plausible outputs with transferred Video MAE from Kinetics to smaller datasets to further investigate the generalization ability. We compare them with Moco v3 pre-training. The models pre-trained by our Video MAE are better, demonstrating that our Video MAE learns more transferable representations. We further perform a detailed investigation by decreasing the pre-training video numbers on something v2. We see that more training iterations could contribute to better performance when we decrease the size of the pre-training set. Surprisingly, even with only 42K pre-training videos, we can still obtain better accuracy than the Kinetics pre-trained models with 240K videos. This result implies that domain shift is another important factor, and data quality is more important than data quantity in SSVP. Our Video MAE achieves 75.3% on something v2. We see that the existing state-of-the-art methods all depend on the external data for pre-training on something v2. On the contrary, our Video MAE without any external data significantly outperforms previous methods with the same input resolution by around 5%. Our VTL Video MAE also achieves very competitive performance on the Kinetics 400 without using any extra data, which is slightly better than the Vivid FAL with on JFT 300M pre-training. On UCF 101 and HMDB 51, Video MAE significantly outperforms training from scratch, Moco v3 pre-training, and the previous best performance without extra data. These two small datasets are more proper to verify the effectiveness of Video MAE, as training large VIT models is more challenging on small datasets. We also perform some visualizations. Even under an extremely high masking ratio, our Video MAE can produce satisfying reconstructed results. To recap, our Video MAE is a data-efficient learner for self-supervised video pre-training. It enjoys masked video modeling for video pre-training, a simple, efficient and strong method, and leading performance with no extra data required. The code is available at GitHub. You can scan QR code to get it. For any question, please open an issue or email the authors. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.